right, guys. Today we're going to talk about the Qrange Spark X1. I've seen a lot of videos on this. I feel like most of you guys are lying. So let's tell them the truth. All right, so the first step on this bike is always making sure that this button's pushed in. If it's not pushed in, it literally won't do anything. I don't know why they decided that the battery needed a kill switch, but that's what they decided. All right, so we got our button pushed in. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna turn the key. As you notice, this is a half throttle. This is a 48 volt throttle. So no matter what, this always shows full. That is super dumb. It's a hodgepodge of parts. As you watch this, you realize that this is probably not going to be the most positive review, but there are benefits to this bike, I promise. All right, so this is in first. That is that's maxed out in first. Third. Wow, it can do 68 miles an hour? No, even though it says miles per hour, you're literally stuck in kilometers and you can't change it. I've heard so many people say, hey, you can't take these batteries out. Yes, you can. There's a bolt here. There's a bolt here. You're going to pull this here. That's literally made to be pulled. And there's another bolt right there. You pull those 3 bolts and that pulls straight out this way. Goes in this way, out this way. The light is one of the things that this bike does really good. So right here, you got off, on. So you do have turn signal and a brake light built in. You might be wondering why I have the light off to show you the horn, but when you hit the horn, these red lights show up. I don't get it. A lot of people will be like, yo, that's a tiny bike. It's actually a little bit taller than you think. I'll show you real fast. Let me shut this off so I don't hit it on accident. Shout out to the Walmart stool. This isn't that bad. This is where I would actually sit. So there's plenty of leg room to move. You don't feel bad on the bike. The absolute worst part of the bike is this seat. Did they have scoliosis? Had they have never sitting down before, this is how I think someone would design a seat. It is 100% the worst seat I've ever felt in my life of seats. I would rather sit on a rock. I would rather insert the rock inside me and use that as a seat than to sit on this seat for longer than 5 minutes. The plastics are painted on. They do come with a little film over it, so I was a little bit hopeful. But this is actually painted on, so you cannot remove these. Hold on, see? That made me hopeful, but no, these are painted on. So unless you sand and repaint, you are not getting rid of these graphics at all. Keeps asking, this is where the controller is. I didn't put the back bolts in because I don't care. It is not a far driver controller. You cannot tune it. There is nothing you can change about this bike out of the box. At the beginning of the video, I did say that there are some good things. So what can I say good about the Qrange X1 Spark? It's a great base. I don't like inheriting a bucket of bolts. So unless I'm able to buy a used like Razor MX650 SX500 that is completely stock, I don't want it. And now the Razors, they cost between 600 to 800 bucks just as a base, just a strip. So this bike, just the frame, the wheels, the brakes, except for this brake, it showed up and it was broken, and they told me they won't have any parts for a month and a half. But it's okay. I had some brake levers showing up, so that are around the garage, so that's fine. Rolls, it stops. Everything else, the half throttle, the controller, trash. Seat, trash. Trash. So much of this bike is trash. But for $1,000, you get a rolling, riding, 50-mile-an-hour bike. Can't complain about that. And if you're the type of person that's going to upgrade, that's going to put 1714s on these, or 1414 Supermoto, and get a little bit more height, this isn't a bad bike to start out with. If you start with a Razor and you try to get it to what this is, height-wise, you're already deep pockets. So starting at this for $1,000 isn't bad. But you have to go into this bike with two things. One, it's your very, very first bike and you're between the ages of 14 and 18. You're gonna be stoked. You're literally gonna love this. You don't know any better. It's totally fine. If you've ever had a motorcycle, don't buy this. If you ever had a Grom, don't buy this. If you've ever upgraded a Razor all by yourself, do not buy this bike. If you've never had a bike, it's your first bike, you want to see if you're interested in electric bikes, great, buy it. Bike, because you can change things. Everything on an electric bike is changeable. You are not set with anything, but it takes time, takes a little bit of money, and a little bit of know-how. I did this bike thinking, like, somebody had a review the other day that was like, is this the next Suron? No. This isn't even the next Yasma. This bike, to me, was a disappointment. But, like I said, if you're a kid, if it's your first bike, even if you need it just to commute to work back and forth and it's not fun, like you're not a hobbyist, this isn't a bad bike. But for 75% of everybody that's into electric bikes, it's not fun. This ain't the bike. This is not a good bike. Not a good bike.